Right, guys, another question. How I got top 10%, which is like 65th in general out of 700 people in my first ever cycling stage race in my life, which is Yunnan Gran Fondo. Lots of strong people coming, lots of strong riders. The prize money, I think it's the only stage race in China. It happens every year in November, and it's in Yunnan. And the prize money is $3,000 US, so it's a lot. So it's even more humbling for me, to know that people were actually competing for that amount of money, and I was able to be 65th, up to maybe 70th, borderline 10% of participants. So it was just actually humbling and amazing, and at the same time, I just got it confirmed that the legs are everything. Your legs, your endurance, your training, your hours on the bike are everything. It's not about the bike. It is about the bike for sure if you want to win or want to compete out there a little bit, those seconds, but just to be half pack, or just to finish it, or just to have fun, or just to be even top 10%, you don't need expensive bike. Like everything that is $1,000, like bike, high-end aluminum, maybe, really solid aluminum bike, 105 Shimano, I think, good wheels like Fulcrum Zero Racing, and you actually will be able to race it. I think I would probably be able to race it. This machine is definitely very heavy, not aerodynamic at all. Upright position, it's not racing position at all. So mountain bike pedals, mountain bike shoes, which are 500 grams heavier. Bottle cages, not aero, like anything, like it's just very, very heavy. Shimano Sora, once again, cassette is not even Sora, it's Sunrace, and so legs are everything. Your training is everything. So if you want to do that race, if you want to actually compete out there, how should you plan your training if you are just starting out? Lots of zone 2 riding everywhere, everywhere you go. Don't worry about hours, if you can do 10 hours a week, do 10 hours a week. If you can do 20, do 20. Just go easy, just go easy, talking pace. Even zone 1, I remember my first 100k ride, it was a ride to Guangzhou, and I was just exhausted. It was zone 1. I think my heart rate was like 110 beats per minute average, speed 18k an hour, and my MTB, just rolling, and I was exhausted. I was like, actually, I honestly remember bunking about 5 hours into the ride, just in zone 1, So it's just the proof that your body should be used to it, you cannot hope that to just jump on your bike and do consecutive days 100k, even 60 miles or something, every day consecutively. No, you will most likely be exhausted. And if we're talking pace in the races, man, you'd better prepare, really, really well if you want to race it. I was actually coming with the expectation of just to have fun, just to actually not finishing it, because I knew that I can definitely finish it, but my expectations were to just have fun and to see what kind of level is out there. The guys, what kind of level are they out there? And to be completely honest with you, all the guys that I was surrounded were on expensive carbon bikes, Colnago, Orbi. I remember felt bikes. I remember lots of specialized bikes here in China. So expensive. Bora wheels, like 10,000, 15,000 pin. Lots of Pinarello bikes, F10. People really loving them here. And lots of them, were left behind. So it's all about yourself, it's all about your legs, it's all about your training, it's all about the amount of hours that you put on your bike. Just do, my biggest tip is zone 2, zone 1, zone 2, all the time, everywhere you go, once a week, either intervals, but I didn't know what was that, so just KOM hunting for me. It was working like that, just create segments everywhere you live, everywhere you go, everywhere you ride, just create segments. It was just like a game for me, and I was just hunting them. And the more people out there, the better. The less people, it gets just very easy. But the more people out there, the better. And just go for that hunt for like once a week, you know, like, and just do that and just go and push yourself, because you need those times when you push yourself. Like, it's not only about endurance if you want to be able to sustain high efforts, you know, for a long time. And also for me, then I include bunch rides, you know, maybe half a year after. Not that you specifically have to wait half a year, but it's that I didn't know that there are people that are actually riding here. But definitely go for once a week for fast bunch ride, that's for sure. And then also, so like fast bunch rides, KOM hunting or intervals will work perfectly, but don't actually use them too often. You don't need it. You don't really need it. Actually, I would say even it's an overkill to do it twice a week if you're just starting out. Do it maybe once a week, or even once every second week, or even maybe once a month, just hard intervals when you are just starting out. I would even say first half a year, don't worry about intervals at all. Just do, like, once again, zone 1, zone 2, explore, ride, just get your body conditioned to it. Get your body to understand that when you go for like 4 hours, 5 hours, you know, long time, your heart rate is going to be, you know, lower after a few months for sure. First it's going to be pretty high, but then you will be able to go faster for the less effort, you know, on your body. And then you can incorporate intervals, alright? Because first half a year for me, I don't even remember doing intervals. Maybe occasionally, once again, KOM hunting, but at first I didn't even know what was Strava that much, you know, so I just wasn't really able to create segments. I just didn't get into it straight up, and I was just rolling along. So yeah, definitely just do enjoyable rides for you, and then do less enjoyable rides, longer rides that they will be less enjoyable, but you know, nonetheless you will actually love being on the bike. And also for me, the biggest addiction was to come back home, have that great dinner after that, and enjoy my data, you know, on Strava. It was just great. I was actually getting into it more and more, and that's how I started creating Strava segments. And it was actually like, Strava is the best tool for training for me, for sure. Like, if it wasn't on Strava, I would probably not do some of the really crazy long rides that I did, just because it was something that actually gave me that motivation to keep going, you know, out there, and not taking a bus or a ferry or anything, you know, like, just to finish. And it's the motivation, and any piece of motivation is great, I think. So definitely, to do that fast stage race, you have to be riding at least 1 year, I would say. Everything less, you won't get in top 10%, at least here in Yunnan Gran Fondo. And I think it's the same with any well-paid, you know, stage race. You won't be able to be there on top, you know, 10% if you're riding less than a year, you know. Definitely depends on your background and how you trained for that year. But if you're just like me, you know, you just started, you know, and then a year later you're doing this race, and you didn't have any cycling background at all, then yeah, like, you will need that body conditioning. But to be objective, like, and give you numbers, what I did in the first year overall before this race that I did, like, the total kilometers were 25,000 kilometers, which is a lot. It's like closer to 15,000 miles in the first year, and most of them were easy, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about conditioning, and that's what I'm talking about when I say, you know, getting your body prepared for it, you know. So I hope you find this video helpful. Like, you don't need great bike. It's great to have one, but you don't need it to ride, to just ride, you know. You need it to compete 100%. You don't need you know, you don't need to be you just need to have legs. That's it. Yeah, you just need to have legs to be able to push the watts, to be able to sustain that pace for a long time, and to have that endurance, you know. That's all you need, and most likely you're getting there by doing lots of zone 2 and by doing intervals occasionally. That's it. It's like, don't make it more complicated. It shouldn't be. But yeah, I'm gonna go edit some videos. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.